Once there were four monks. Three monks always used to spend all their time debating and talking about the existence of God and all types of intellectual pursuits. The fourth one was a simple man who had a great faith in God and always used to sweep the floors of the temple. At the end, this simple man got enlightenment first. At this, the intellectual monks asked their mentor, how come this simple man got enlightenment first? At that, their mentor responded, well, while he was sweeping the temple floor, he was also sweeping the corners of his mind of all his doubts. His firm faith in God, without any doubt, was the reason that he was able to attain enlightenment first. Hello friends, welcome to my channel All Things Spiritual. Today we will take a look at why there is doubt on the existence of God. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel if you like the video. Say for example, if I tell you that God is right there where you're sitting at and there is no separation between you and the Almighty. So in a sense, there may be no distance needed to be covered to get to the One. Would you believe me? This exact disbelief is the doubt. A faithful mind has no such doubts. It knows that the Atman is forever there and it is beyond the body and the senses and it is not bound to life and death of the person. But you may say, well, that is theoretically correct and I understand this, but in a practical sense, I still have to live in the world and have to fight my battles. And why would there be battles in the first place if there was God right there with me all the time? I get to hear this a lot and many have complaints that their lives are so full of sufferings that it's beyond a doubt that they believe in the existence of their problems more than the existence of God. Man's existence is such that he only thinks of his worldly problems that are everything and he has no interest in finding a part of himself or herself that is full of peace and tranquility. He or she lives his life one thought after another and he or she is unable to reconcile himself within those multitude of thoughts, emotions, and that also includes doubts of various kinds. And at the top of all such doubts is the doubt on his own self as to how he or she would be able to overcome this material existence day after day. Sri Ramana Maharishi says that there may be 1,000 doubts, but one does not doubt the existence of the doubter. Who is he? All doubts would cease only when the doubter and his source have been found. It is no use endlessly removing doubts. If we clear up one, another will arise and there will be no end to them. But if the doubter himself is found to be really non-existent, by seeking his source, then all doubts will cease. Doubt of a certain kind is a feeling of uncertainty about the truth, reality, or distrust of anything. Just like the question, why doesn't God answer my prayers, that I discussed in a prior video, I will link it above. Doubt of a certain kind is at a lower level than a prayer, because at least in a prayer there is a little bit of faith on the existence of the Almighty, albeit the prayer for the elimination of problems could also be considered shallow from the point of view of the problems of the individual. If there is doubt of any kind, such as will this work out, or can I achieve this thing or that thing, while such a doubt creates uncertainty, it also most certainly creates distrust and disbelief in life. A doubting soul finds happiness neither in this world nor the next, while the faithful ones attain peace and reach God easily. Sri Krishna says, but ignorant and faithless human beings who doubt do not attain God consciousness, they fall down. For the doubting soul, there is happiness neither in this world nor the next. Finally, the person who doubts everything will also find it difficult to gain knowledge. Now, to be sure, skepticism and inquiry is absolutely important. In fact, it is encouraged by spiritual teachers. But constant doubting without taking efforts to resolve those doubts will become a huge roadblock in gaining spiritual knowledge. Sri Krishna also says that constant doubting is not just an obstacle on the spiritual path, it also prevents us from living peacefully in the material world. Do we go to sleep doubting that we won't wake up in the morning the next day? How come doubts of such kind don't arise then? Seems like we pick and choose our doubts because it's very much a possibility that we may not wake up from our sleep, but instead, we find extreme joy in being able to take rest. Imagine such a hypocrisy. It is surprising and also shocking. So if you accept that you can wake up from your dream state or your deep sleep state without a doubt, so also need not be any doubt in the waking state as well. Doubts of any kind, therefore, would just make you invest more energy in the negative direction, whereas all it takes for you to just drop your doubts and save all that energy that you plan to invest in your doubts, yielding to no result. The story in relation to dispelling of your doubts is of Buddha, who once went to preach at a village. Having come to the riverside, he sat down beneath a tree, and the villagers, seeing the glory of his appearance, approached him with reverence. But when he began to preach, they doubted his teachings. A man felt the desire to see the Lord and to hear him preach. Coming to the other side of the river bank, where the water was deep and the currents were strong, he said to himself, "This stream shall not prevent me. I shall go and see the Blessed One." And he stepped on the water, which was as firm under his feet as a stone. When he arrived at the place in the middle of the stream where the waves were very high, the man's heart gave way and he began to sink. But rousing his faith and renewing his mental effort, he then proceeded as before and reached the other side of the bank. The people of the village were astonished to see the man, and they asked how he could cross the stream where there was neither a bridge nor a ferry. The man replied, "I lived in ignorance till I heard the voice of the Buddha. As I was anxious to hear him, I crossed the river and I walked over its troubled waters because I had no doubt that I could cross to the other side. Faith and nothing else enabled me to do so, and now I am here in the bliss of the Master's presence." Buddha added, addressing the man, "You have spoken well. Faith like yours alone can save the world and enable men to go through many wet shores, and your feet would still be dry." And then he urged the villagers the necessity of ever advancing in the conquest of sorrow and of casting off the shackles of doubt to cross the river of worldliness and attain deliverance from death. Hearing the extraordinary story of the man who crossed the river and Buddha's words, the villagers were then convinced about Buddha's teachings and took refuge in his name. How did you like the video on doubt? Unless you put your faith in the Almighty, doubts will keep crossing your mind. Let me know in the comment section if you doubt. And please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel if you like the video. And I will see you next week with a new video.